this week for diesel sa MAPS po ay 263. This is down from yung average last week na mga, if I'm not mistaken, mga 275 ang average ng diesel per barrel, which is about 159 liters. So yun po yung pricing na, yun ang price ng commodity as discovered by MAPS. Actual sales yun yung kinukuha nila. And then, yung sinasabi na premium is, ito ang
60.
MAPS. Ang current premium last week was $60 over MAPS. And then, yung freight insurance nag-a-add up. Yun ang system ng pricing.
Yeah. Oo. Well, naiintindihan ko naman yun. I'm just saying that government has to act fast. Dahil, di ba, may saying tayo, aanhimpayin mo, pagpatay na yung kabayo, at kayo, maiipitan kayo ng mahal na produkto. While ngayon, kailangan ng mga Pilipino, kailangan ng mga drivers natin, yung murang fuel. Kaya, we have to release it to them while they still need it. Kaya nga lagi kong sinasabi, politically, magandang tignan, nagbibigay ng pera politically, but it's not a solution to the driver's problem. I had a consultation meeting with bus jeepney drivers. Alam mo yung 6'5", hindi na sila bumabiyahe. Kasi nga pang isang araw na full tank, pinapanggastos na lang nila yun sa sarili nila. But yung gusto natin mangyari, gusto natin bumiyahe yung jeep, bumiyahe yung bus, bumiyahe yung taxi para may masakyan yung mga kababayan natin. Pero that doesn't happen kasi nga sa taas ng cost of fuel, kukunin na lang nila yung ayuda pero hindi rin sila bumabiyahe. That's why it's not a solution pagdating dito sa problema yung pagbigay ng 6'5". And government has to realize it by now. Politically, pag eleksyon, siguro maganda yun. Pero malayo pa yung eleksyon. We need to find a solution to this existing problem that we have now. Now, another thing, lagi kasi natin pinapag-usapan yung, pinag-uusapan natin yung yung Iran and yung designation natin as a non-hostile country. Okay yun, maganda yan, non-hostile tayo. Okay yun. How does it benefit us? Pagdating sa, kunyari, sa price of oil na dinadala sa atin, how? Ako na sasagot. It doesn't benefit us.
Sir,
O sige.
if I may. Kasi ang situation naman talaga, isa lang ang ating refinery. So, isa lang, and it's private, and siya lang ang nagpaparating ng crude oil sa Philippines. So, ang mga vessel na ginagamit ay contracted. So, but I think my understanding dun sa na-reach nating agreement with DFA is yung energy supplies ng Philippines coming from exiting Strait of Hormuz ay ginagarantiyan din ng Iran po.
Okay, iklaro ko yan. They allow the flag carriers of non-hostile countries to pass. The Philippines, even Petron, does not have a BLCC, a very large crude carrier. So, yan, inaano yan, nirerentahan o inaano yung vessel kinukuha sa ibang bansa. And they carry the flag where the vessel is registered. So ano yan, hindi rin kailangan yung registration of ng country nung vessel na yon should be classified as non-hostile. Kasi pati yung sa Filipino seafarers, kung yung barko naman of Philippine registry hindi dumadaan sa Strait of Hormuz, kung pasahero lang sila, kunyari seaman lang natin sila na ibang barko rin yung sinasakyan, it doesn't hindi naman tinatanong Pinoy ba yung mga nakasakay sa barko. Sige, Director Dino.
Mr. Chair,
In conclusion,
I
yes,
think
please.
on
Go ahead.
two parts. Number one, because we realize that of the 20 million barrels per day exiting the Persian Gulf, the one that has continued to be exported are only supply from Saudi Arabia of around 6 million, 7 million barrels, and around 500,000 from Qatar, United Arab Emirates. So the problem is there's the 11 to 14 million supply, supply destruction, as you may call it, because it's not being exported because of the Strait of Hormuz blockage. So I think the good thing that happened with the announcement of 2-week period is that other countries like Kuwait will be able to resume. So
No, I agree. Na okay, may 2 week na ceasefire. Ang sinasabi ko,
Okay.
kahit i-designate tayo as non-hostile, crude-wise o price-wise ng crude does not affect the Philippines. We just have to realize that Although, kasi most of the crude that we buy are dito sa atin, only Petron buys crude oil. And everyone else buys refined fuel. And yung refinery comes from what? The biggest would be China, Korea, yung biggest refinery. We buy some from Singapore, from Thailand, but ano na yun, doon na yun, hindi na dumadaan sa Hormuz yun pagka sa refinery ng China mo kunin. Basta, well, yun lang naman yung tanong ko. It's just clarifications and a reminder that if you want to help our drivers, public utility drivers, with a cheaper, more affordable fuel, then you have to do it now. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Congressman Bong Suntay. May we now call on the chairman of the Committee on Appropriation, the Honorable Congresswoman Mika Swansing. You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good evening to all of our distinguished resource persons. I would like to focus my line of questioning on the support for farmers and fisher folk. Siguro po kasi nakikita natin ang bilis na nung rollout nung pagbibigay ng transport subsidy sa transport sector. March 17 pa lang po nagsimula na. Pero ngayon po, April 8 na, wala pa pong nare-release kahit isang kusing para po sa ating mga farmers at ating mga fisher folk. So, dun po siguro, dun ko gustong i-focus yung aking katanungan. The first question that I wanted to pose to the DBM is in your report, in the Senate committee hearing, the PROTECT hearing, as of that date, nothing has been released in terms of the allocation for the presidential assistance for farmers and fisher folk. So may I request for an update as to whether that has been released?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have already released the presidential assistance to farmers and fisher folk of amounting 10 billion to the Department of Agriculture in terms of the allotment and NCA just this week, this week, Mr. Chair.
Is that the whole 10 billion
Yes,
pesos for PAF?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right. So, at least yun po, na ilabas na. Pero kung titignan kasi natin yung proposed guidelines ng DA patungkol dito sa Presidential Assistance for Farmers and Fisher Folk, the target is 4.17 million farmers at 2,325 pesos each. And that is a big reduction as compared to the 5,000 pesos per beneficiary which the transport sector is getting. So yun po siguro yung tinitignan natin. To put that into perspective, that's only 21% of farmers. Isa lang po sa 5 na mga magsasaka ang makakatanggap nitong Presidential Assistance for Farmers and Fisher Folk as proposed by the Department of Agriculture. Meron pa po silang isang tinitigdan na ito po yung binanggit nila na fuel subsidy na naghahalaga na 5,000 pesos para sa mga magsasaka at 3,000 pesos para sa mangingisda. But if we look at the target number of beneficiaries, 14,500 farmers lang at 23,500 fisher folk lang yung makakatanggap nitong fuel subsidy. So if we would look at it as compared to the scale by which we are distributing the transport sector subsidy, as of now, the target is 100% of all members of the transport sector registered with local government units. Siguro po, bilang representante ng unang distrito ng Nueva Ecija, the Rice Granary of the Philippines, yun po siguro yung tinatanong ko na bakit po parang hindi ganun katindi yung suporta na ibinibigay ngayon sa ating mga magsasaka. Napakalaki po ng kanilang gastusin. Yung diesel, ang laki po nung nadagdag sa binabayaran nila doon po sa mga nag-harvest, ang mahal nung gastos nila sa combine harvester, yung mga naghahanda na para magtanim, ang laki po ng ginagastos nila sa diesel para sa kanilang mga roto at kanilang mga traktora. So I would like to call the attention of our honorable secretaries, especially since Secretary Balisacan highlighted in the uplift framework that for agriculture, the target is to provide fuel subsidy, secure supply chain for inputs, production support, transport support, and marketing support. So ang tanong ko po siguro, aside from the 10 billion for the presidential assistance for farmers and fisher folk, meron na po ba tayong target na maibigay para po sa ating mga magsasaka?
Mr. Chair, right now, what is available to us to support the farmers and fisher folk is what I've already mentioned, the 10 billion. But if there's a need for us to augment the fund or the program, we are looking at any other funding source that we can support for the farmers. Okay. Aside from that, by the way, just to mention, we have still the continuing appropriation under the 2025 GAA of that for the DA. That's for the fuel assistance to farmers, exactly, from the Office of the Secretary and from the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. So that is a total of 150 million pesos. So as also during the meeting, we really have to look at how we can augment these programs as we go along in terms of the distribution of the ayuda. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sec. Rolly. Actually, the 150 million that you mentioned, that the percentage of farmers that will be targeted by that is so small. 0.07% of farmers and 1% of fisher folk. So, alam niyo naman po kami dito, we're partners here, especially coming from the Committee on Appropriations. We would like to present, I was conferring with Chairman Mark Inverga of the Committee on Agriculture as to a potential funding source that we can pull from to be able to give support to our farmers and fisher folk. And one area that we're looking at is to tap into the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund. The Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund, as we all know, is a special account in the general fund, and which is lodged with the National Treasury, and that should that essentially it accrues year on year, whichever tariff revenues the government gets. So siguro po, if I may backtrack a little bit, if I may pose a question to the Department of Finance family, let's backtrack in terms of our tariff revenues. How much did we earn from rice tariff revenues in the year 2024? Because that would feed into how much would go into the RCEF for the year 2025.
Mr. Chair, just like we did for the special account in the general fund of the DOE, which is the Malampaya Gas Fund, we have to take a look at that RCEF, if that it will cover under the provision of that RCEF, kung po pwede po tayong mag-augment, or we can use that also as a source of funding.
Yes, actually, Sec. Rolly, kami po ni Chair Mark ang nag-craft ng amendments to the rice tariffication law. So we are very much aware of the provisions under the RCEF that would allow us to pull from there. Yung isa po tinitignan namin ni Chair Mark, there's a provision for providing rice financial assistance for farmers, which we call RFFA. In the current version of the rice tariffication law, we provide 15 billion pesos out of the 13 billion pesos that can be allocated towards RFFA. So siguro po, I just wanted to backtrack because based on our conversations with DA, it seems like the amount that is that should have gone to RCEF in the previous years have not been given to RCEF. So pwede po nating tignan yon. So again, if I may pose the question to the DOF, how much were the rice tariff revenues in 2024? Can you confirm that it's 34 billion?
Mr. Chair, it's Based on what I have right now, it's 34.2 billion from January to December 2024.
And if nandito rin po si ang ating National Treasurer, si Ma'am Sharon, how much of that, out of the 34.2 billion, how much of that was actually downloaded to the implementing agencies for the year 2025 for RCEF?
Yeah, Mr. Chair. The release, I believe, is only 10, as provided in the law. So it's 10 billion pesos.
But if I may reference the law po, anything in excess of anything actually that is obtained from the rice tariff revenues should all accrue to that special account in the general fund. So even though in the law we only earmark 10 billion pesos, anything actually that is derived from rice tariff revenue should accrue to the special account. So dapat po yung kabuuan po ng 34 billion ay napunta sa RCEF. So may I ask po, if only 10 billion was credited to the RCEF, where did the rest of the 24 billion go? Mr. Chair, I ask this question kasi we can potentially pull an additional 30 billion pesos for farmer and fisher folk assistance from RCEF based on our initial computation. So tignan lang po natin, mag-backtrack lang po tayo kung saan po napunta yung rice tariff revenues ng mga nakadaang taon.
Please stop the time while they are trying to find the answer.
Collections go to a special account. Treasury. Pwede po. Plus the additional 15 billion that we could tap this year for.
Anyone, guys? Secretary Toledo? Our National Treasurer, ma'am? Madam Treasurer, can we get a reply, please?
Mr. Chair, based on our record, there's, as mentioned, there's an excess tariff collection in 2024. That's 24.229 billion pesos. And we have a ledger on this amount. For the first, but this is for the first RCEF.
Yes, so that's the first RCEF. There's, again, having crafted the law, there is actually no transitory provision. There is no cutoff. There is no distinction between the accrual in the original version of the law and the amended version of the law. So sa amin po ni Chair Mark, again, having crafted the law ourselves, there should not be any impact in the accrual of the amount towards the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund. So yung 24.229 billion na tinutukoy po natin na excess tariff revenues noong taong 2024 ay dapat napunta pa rin po sa Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund. So Ma'am Sharon, you mentioned that there is a ledger. So does that mean that it's credited into the special account for RCEF?
Mr. Chair, we will coordinate with Department of Budget and Management because I think this is one of the matter raised to the permanent committee. Because I think there's a sunset clause provided in the first RCEF law. And it was elevated to the permanent committee on the use of the balance of this special account.
If with all due respect po, there was no sunset provision in either of the two laws. So may you please reference it to us, because as far as we recall, again having been the authors, there was actually no sunset provision or transitory provision in either of the two, the old or the amendatory rice tarification law.
Mr. Chair, we will just work with the Committee on APRO as far as the RCEP implementation is concerned. So we'll take note of this, and we'll work with you as far as the implementation as part of our funding source for our assistance to farmers, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Sec. Rolly. Thank you, Ma'am Sharon. I think yun lang po kasi yung point namin. If in 2024 alone, I also have data from DA which says that between 2019 and 2024, there is a total of 50.94 billion in excess tariff revenues on top of the 10 billion that is automatically earmarked into the different components of RCEF. So we might not even just be talking about 24.2 billion. We might actually be looking for 50.9 billion that should have accrued into the special account of RCEF. So, yun lang po. Kasi ngayon po, di ba, naghahanap tayo kung saan natin pwedeng hugutin yung pwede nating ibigay na assistance para po sa ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda. At yung RCEF po, yung pinaka-akma na programa dahil po talagang dinisenyo po yung programa na yon para po magbigay na suporta sa ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda. Siguro po, I would like to, again, moving to year 2025, 2026, because it's another year. May I again ask the DOF how much the rice tariff revenues were in 2025?
Mr. Chair, it's around 13.9 billion in 2025.
So in effect po, parang may shortfall as compared to the 30 billion pesos earmarked under the rice tarification law for RCEF. Apo. So we'll just need to talk to DA about that, how to figure out the mechanics of that. But yun po siguro, Mr. Chair, as manifested by Secretary Toledo, we'll work together in the next few days between now and the next hearing to try to figure out how much we can actually pull from the special account of RCEF. Again, the intention is to be able to locate additional funds for us to be able to give to rice farmers and fisher folk. Kinompute po namin kanina ni Chair Mark, if we're able to pull 40 billion pesos, so that's 15 from, again, this is conservative, but given the 50-point-something billion that are actually recognized by DA as excess tariff revenues, assuming that we're able to pull 40 billion pesos together for assistance to farmers, looking at the total of 19.68 million farmers and 2.2 million fisher folk, we can give to each one, as in 100% coverage, 1,800 pesos, which is definitely not enough. So the goal is for us to be able to pull more than 40 billion pesos to give support to farmers and fisher folk. Dahil ang gusto po talaga sana natin 100% coverage po para sa mga magsasaka at saka mangingisda. So again, Mr. Chair, that's an action item on our part. Chair Mark, myself will work with the DBM family, and the DOF family, and the National Treasury to be able to locate additional funds to give support to farmers and fisher folk. Yung goal po natin, sana mapantayan man lang natin at least yung 5,000 pesos per beneficiary na maibigay po natin sa bawat mangingisda at bawat magsasaka.
Mr. Chair, I guess it will also be good that we include the Department of Agriculture in the discussion, Mr. Chair.
Yes, my apologies. The Department of Agriculture will also engage the Department of Agriculture in the conversation, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, if I may, on a completely different topic, if there's still a PNOC representative here.
The DOE representatives can answer your question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question po, because a letter was addressed to the Committee on Appropriations and the Committee on Energy a few weeks ago, with the PNOC requesting for an additional 8 billion pesos in additional funding. I also received a briefer from the PNOC today, which states that they've also secured around 5 billion pesos in funding from the Department of Energy. So again, Mr. Chair, following your direction that the intention of today's hearing is to understand what the agencies need, may I clarify with the PNOC whether this additional 8 billion being requested from Congress is separate from the 5 billion pesos already provided by the Department of Energy?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the original request was for a supplemental budget for 2026 coming from self-generated funds of PNOC, the mother corporation, no? In order to have funds to respond to this crisis early on. I think parang in the first 2 weeks of the situation. And eventually, the Malampaya Fund was used to fund. So yung what was 15 billion PNOC EC to source the diesel. So as mentioned earlier, actually we're looking at 1 million to 2 million barrels. Yung 1 million barrels, mga 12 billion pesos. So para marating yung 2 million barrels, mga 24 billion pesos. So hopefully bababa kasi medyo may ceasefire. And then, so si PNOC Mother, merong request na magamit yung pera through a supplemental budget na approve ni Kongreso. So magkaroon siya ng 8 billion and then 20 yung total from Malampaya, so 28. So yung 2 million, mga 24 billion. And then in the middle, nung nagde-develop to, nakita namin na ang critical other fuels were jet fuel and then LPG. Ngayon sa jet fuel, because monitor po namin yung inventory weekly, parang nagkaroon ng self-resolution dahil nagkaroon ng demand destruction din. Mas konti yung bumabiyahe. So, yung na-order ng mga airlines, na boost up yung kanilang inventories to a comfortable level. I think as of Friday, mga 60 days na po. Pero ang tinitingnan namin presently is LPG naman po and yun ang actively sinosource yung LPG. So, ang use ng mga funds na yon ay principally towards yung socially sensitive na fuel, which are the LPG and the diesel fuel.
So, just to clarify po, sorry, I didn't quite catch whether that's a new, that request still holds are you still requesting for an additional 8 billion on top of the 5 billion already provided to you by the DOE?
Yes, ma'am. If that could be given.
And the 8 billion will be used for, parang nakita ko po dito, LPG?
Yes, ma'am.
Solely for procurement of LPG?
Well, in flux kasi yung situation, so we're focusing on diesel, LPG as the primary. Kasi yun yung malaki impact. But of course, as this develops, we don't know when it will end. Nagkaroon ng ceasefire, pero as mentioned earlier, yung trailing effects on the market, medyo semi-permanent na yung ibang damage. So it will reflect on the price. So yung continuing help sa mga sectors na masyado na apektuhan, we think will still be there po.